And now we celebrate one of the architects of Trinity Athletics. This individual served as the basketball and track and field coach, as well as was the longtime athletic director. He was the first coach from a small college to serve as president of the National Association of Basketball Coaches in 1956. Please join me in celebrating Ray Oosting. Trinity luminary Ray Oosting, originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan, graduated from Springfield College in the class of 1924, where he competed in both basketball and track. Skilled in both sports, Oosting earned all New England honors on the hardwood and set an Eastern Intercollegiate Track Association record in the 220-yard dash. After graduating from Springfield, Oosting joined the Trinity College Athletic Department as both basketball and track coach. He coached basketball for 32 years, track for 20, and also guided freshman football and cross country. He won 253 games as the basketball coach. In 1956, Oosting became the first coach from a small college to become president of the National Basketball Coaches Association. Oosting was awarded with the Eastern College Athletic Conference's James Lina Memorial Award for outstanding service to intercollegiate athletics and was a Gold Key recipient of the Connecticut Sports Writers Alliance. Although he retired in 1966, Oosting's impact is still felt on Trinity athletics today. He's known as the architect of Trinity's athletic programs and is also credited with the development of lower campus into our athletic fields. His name graces our gymnasium, and we are proud to call Oosting Gymnasium home to our basketball and volleyball teams. It's an honor to induct Ray Oosting into the Trinity Athletics Hall of Fame. First, I'd like to invite current men's basketball coach James Cosgrove to speak for a few moments on Ray's impact on our program.
Thank you, Drew. Appreciate being here, and it's quite an honor to, first of all, be at Trinity College and serve as your men's basketball coach. This place is truly, truly special, and just the love that people have for our athletics and our school is unbelievable, and you don't find this at most places. So this is truly a remarkable place, and I'm very honored to be here. And I'm more honored to be speaking on behalf of Ray Oosting. Ray was a tremendous coach and administrator, and was a tremendous player. Playing at Springfield College, he had a bunch of honors at Springfield in basketball and in track and field, and that was 1923, 1922, 1921, about 30 years after the game was invented at Springfield College. So he was, I'm sure, involved with people who knew, worked with, played for the great James Naismith, who invented our terrific sport. So the legacy that Ray has, just as a player, is unbelievable. Playing at Springfield at that time, which was one of the top collegiate programs in the country, and to also be a great track and field star also is truly unbelievable. Ray comes to Trinity in 1924 and is the basketball coach till 1957. I'm just going to give you a few stats of what he did when he was here. In the 20s, think about this. In the 20s, he had teams that were 10-4. In the 30s, he had teams that were 11-1, 10-2, 9-3. That's the equivalent of winning 30 games now. And he did that basically 3 years in a row in the 30s. In the 40s, he had teams 8-4. In the 50s, he had teams 14-3, 14-5, and 15-6. So back then, they probably played a third of the games that we play now, and he amassed 250 plus victories, which equivalent today would probably be about 600 or 700 victories, which is unfathomable in our sport. It's just really, really unbelievable. He also was the track and field and cross country coach for more than 25 years, and was the athletic director. So I don't know if President Berger Sweeney is still here, but he basically did about 5 of our jobs all on his own. So she might look around and say, why do I need all you guys? Why do I need all you guys going around? But, oh, she is here, so I hope you didn't hear that, President Berger Sweeney. But I just want to say it's quite an honor to be the basketball coach here and follow in the footsteps of the great Ray Oosting. And we go in that gym every day and we work, and we always say, we're meeting in Oosting 3 o'clock. Make sure you're in Oosting at 3 o'clock. And now it has so much more meaning and so much more intention for us and purpose for us that I actually shared with my team about him. And I'm very, very honored to be speaking on his behalf. And I'm very, very honored to be the basketball coach here at Trinity College. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Ray's grandson, Bob Muensberg, to say a few words, as well as Ray's great-granddaughter, Lauren McBriar, and great-great-granddaughter, Tave Muensberg, both graduates of Trinity, to come accept his award.
Thank you all very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and on behalf of my family, this is a great honor, and we really appreciate it. I was told to keep this to 2 or 3 minutes, but the prior speakers kind of went on and on. So I thought I'd start by talking about academics here at Trinity College. I remember the first time when my daughter started coming here. I think it was 1998 or 1999. She graduated in '03. Evan Dobell was the president at the time. Is Evan still here? Yes, sir. And you gave the parent welcome speech and made reference to the phrase of welcome to Trinity College, the cruise ship Trinity College. I can appreciate that. It's a great place, and the kids are treated very well here. Great-granddaughter, Ray's great-great-great-granddaughter, Tave, graduated here just last year in 2023. And he'd be real proud that the girls came here and did and really got a great education. So one thing that I've noticed here is that it's a hall full of athletes, great athletes. And I think all of us who aren't athletes know those people that were always good at everything, every single conceivable sport. So I remember being a teenager, 20s and 30s, and I'd challenge my grandfather. We called him Beep. I'd challenge him to play a little golf, ping pong, play horse in the driveway. Whether he was in his 70s or 80s, he would always find a way to win. He had a real twinkle in his eye, and as a prior speaker said, as an athlete and as a great coach, he had a way of getting under an opponent's skin. This hall reminds me of his favorite story he told about his career at Trinity. And if you could just throw yourself back to perhaps 1937, 38, he was the basketball coach. And he loved beating the Ivies. I believe the game was at Yale. And as I like to recall the story, it was a dark and stormy night, he'd say. And it was a huge arena, whatever that was at the time, for Yale's basketball. And you had mentioned, Coach, the record that he had these various years, 10-4, 9-1, 9-4. I think those reflected the scores of basketball games back in the day, the dead ball era and the peach baskets. But in any event, it was a dark and stormy night, and Trinity was getting thrashed by those haughty Yaleys. And halftime came, and there was a depressed locker room, and everybody's all just bummed out. The coach was trying to motivate them and tried to give them some kind of a let's go speech in the Bantam spirit. And they came out after halftime. The place was packed. And all of a sudden, baskets of Bantam roosters were released from the rafters, and they came down onto the crowd. Pandemonium ensued. The Yale coach was apoplectic, lost his mind. Well, of course, the end of the story he'd always say was, we beat him. We beat him at the end. Got right under their skin. So my grandfather, Ray, we called him Beepa. He was a gentleman. Coach, I'm hoping that you maintain the tradition of keeping a jacket and tie on the sidelines all the time. Critical. Beepa was dapper, a gentleman at all times. And another very, very fond memory was I was probably in my 30s. Again, this was 35 years ago, so there's a real generation gap going on here. But I was a young man in my 30s, and he would call. He lived in a condo right next to St. Joseph's in his later years, and he'd call in, and Coach Stan Ogrodnik would always invite him to come to games. And when I would go down and visit him and maybe sleep over just to kind of be with him and keep in touch, occasionally we'd go to a game together, and people would always say, now don't make a big deal out of it, no big deal. I don't want any attention. So Ogrodnik, every single time we'd meet him at the door, we'd go into the Ray Oosting Gymnasium. They'd make a big PA announcement on the system. Ogrodnik would have all of his players come over and shake his hand, and there was a tremendous tradition, and it just is the testament to this whole Trinity athletic community. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much for this great honor, and we sincerely appreciate it. Thank you.